We're getting set for the 4A state championship game in the Super 7, and with the Leeds coach Keith Etheridge. First off, Coach, congratulations.
Thank you, guys. It's great to be back.
We're doing it all over again,
yes,
right?
sir.
Hey, I tell you, how does it feel to be getting ready for another state title game?
It's phenomenal. Phenomenal. What these kids have accomplished over the last, 5-6 years has just been a blessing.
Coming in 13-1, 4A Region 3 champions. Talk a little bit about your region.
We had a tough region this year. It was neck and neck right there to the end. We lost one region game to Dadeville, and they ended up slipping and losing the game late. That put us back in the driver's seat. So, phenomenal region. Has some great teams in our region.
Let's talk a little bit about your offense. You've seen quarterback Tadero Marshall mature into one of the top quarterbacks in the state. Talk about his progress.
Just every year, every game, he gets better and better. He's doing things this year that obviously he couldn't do last year. He's been a starter since he walked in the door. As a ninth grader, would probably be the best wide receiver, best skill guy on the team if we put him out in those positions. But he's relished in that quarterback role. Last year I think in the championship game he had over 300 yards. So we're going to need him to repeat that this year, and he's done a phenomenal job, not just churning up yards and things like that, but leading us and putting us in good situations. He's done some checking it during the year that we've allowed him to do, and does a phenomenal job doing that.
You mentioned a minute ago losing to Dadeville week 8, 20-14. Since that time, you've outscored your last 6 opponents, 273-28. Did that game serve kind of as a wake-up call for your group?
I think it did. We turned the ball over 3 or 4 times in that game, and I think it just showed them that they're not Superman. There is kryptonite out there, and that if they don't step up and come ready to play every Friday night, that it can end at any time. So I think that helped us. And I think in high school football sometimes you learn more from losses than you do from wins if you lose at the right time.
Semifinal, you go on the road, dominate one of the top programs in the state year in and year out. UMS Wright, 42-14. You had 3 guys, Marshall and Nation and Tyler Wright, all with over 100 yards. How proud were you of that performance?
It's great. Those guys up front paved the way for them. They've been doing it all year. I think all 3 of those guys could possibly go over 1,500 yards this year. You got Trey Nation, who's already over 1,900. You got Tyler Wright, who's sitting right at 1,500, and Tadero, who's sitting right at 1,500 rushing. So, it's one of those things it's a special group, and I think that the guys up front have a tremendous amount to do with that. So, we're very, very proud of those guys.
After falling last year to Madison Academy, your team has worked its way back to play for another state championship. Each team's different. Did that 2013 game, has that been a motivating factor for you?
Absolutely. Coming into the season, we played Madison Academy first game of the season on ESPN, and, that was one of the push things. We worked all summer. They got in the weight room, and they really, really did a great job of staying focused, and, their focus was on trying to get a little redemption from that loss, and then move on and try to go into 4A and be one of the teams to actually compete for the championship in 4A. So I think it's an unbelievable job what these guys have done to play for it in 3A and win it twice in 3A, and then come into 4A and then not really skip a beat and just keep on competing and trying to win championships.
And when you talk about championships in 4A, Deshler always comes to mind. They are constantly in there. And talk about their program as you look from
unbelievable program. Like you said, they're in it every single year. What they've been through this year is heart-wrenching, and the job that their coaches have done, that their kids have done, and the I think the closeness of their community that's been brought about by the tragedy, is unbelievable. And for them to actually be in the state championship game it speaks volumes for their program.